Good morning, you all. How you all doing? Welcome back to my channel. And for today, we're going to go through a drill which I call an L handstand hold. So when we're trying to do some conditioning for a handstand practice, we want to be able to practice or train our muscles to be able to hold a specific position that will directly transfer to our handstand practice. So when we're doing our handstand, we want a nice stack across our wrist, elbows, shoulders, hips as much as possible, and all the way to our knees and toes. But in this drill, we're going to try to cut it in half and just try to focus from our hips all the way to our wrist and even cutting the weight that we're carrying on our shoulder by half. Okay? And we're going to do this against the wall. And if that is still too hard for you, you can try to do it over a ledge or stepping on a wall or a platform. You're just going to have to find the right height for you. Like for me, this might be enough, but for you, it may be slightly lower than this, maybe just about knee height. And word of caution, your flexibility on your hips, on your hamstrings, on your lower back, maybe even across your shoulder. So if I say we open the shoulders and push tall, if your shoulders can only open nice and open here, where you can really push with strength, then probably your distancing and your height of your legs against the wall might be different. But if you can push tall, you can even find your hips about your legs about the same height as your hips. You'll have to figure this out on your own. But if you have any questions, you can ask me later on in the comments. All right. So this is how we do it. First, you want to position yourself with back to the wall because we want this to be a chest to wall work or drill. If this is still too advanced for you, maybe you want to check out my other videos for more beginner friendly drills. All right, so I want to be facing away from the wall, and then I'm going to plant my hand about shoulder distance apart, making sure all the key points or checkpoints that we have talked about in my wrist mobilization drills and all my other handstand tutorials, that our hands will always be the same. This is our powerhouse. Okay, how stable we feel on our hands, on our wrists, and our shoulders is how it's gonna be our the driving our handstand practice is gonna be. Okay, so planting our hands nice and stable, and that's when we either walk our feet back or we hop up. So you can hop up like this. That saves you a little bit of energy, but it's a little bit scary. Or you use a little bit of strength, a little bit of time to come up, and maybe if you're flexible, you can walk up like this with 2 steps. And then what I want you to do is notice how my shoulders is behind my wrist line. I'm gonna try to find my shoulders above the middle of my hands, and I'm gonna play around with my feet here. If like this, my weight is still on the wall or on my legs. If I go forward, then I start to planche, and I'm going too far forward. There's a lot of strength to hold, so maybe I'm gonna tuck my knees a little bit, and I'm gonna drive my fingertips on the floor so I don't feel. I'm gonna fall forward, and I'm gonna push tall on my shoulders and bring my hips up over my shoulders if possible. Shh. And if I am already tired, I'm just gonna hop down and keep pushing the ground. Don't ever bend your elbows because that's the recipe for disaster. Now, the question here is, how do you know if your hips are stacked over your shoulders? In the beginning, that's going to take a little while to build some proprioception, maybe even overcoming fear that, okay, does it really match how I feel versus how it is in reality? So it's always good to record yourself and maybe give yourself an actual feedback if what you feel is the same exact thing as the reality. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to check the videos that I shoot and compare, okay, what can I adjust and how do I make it certain that my hips are above my shoulders. Okay, and right now I'm going to show you also how it is if I'm just going to put my feet on a ledge or on a platform. so that there's a little bit less weight over my hands, over my shoulders, and a little bit more weight on my feet. Okay, so I have a little bit of a window ledge here. Same exact thing. I'm going to find my wall behind me, plant my hands, nice and strong shoulders and elbows, walk my feet. Okay. All right, now I'm spotting the ground, feeling my hands, lifting my hips, pushing tall on the shoulders, finding my way. This may be too much. This is a little bit too backwards. And here. Okay, a little bit of a check if you feel like you're in the right spot. If you lift your leg, are you falling back or you feel like you're falling forward? So you want to play around with this a little bit, and once you're done, go ahead and hop down and make sure you have something left in the tank to safely get out of this position. Up next from this video is the bailout drill, and that's really going to come in handy when you go really close to the wall and be a nice straight line, because at that point there's no more space between your hands and the wall, so you cannot just hop down. You'll really have to pivot your way out and go out the other way. All right, thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace and love.